Karl Lagerfeld is the legendary creative director of Chanel who carried the brand from dying to the top of the luxury world. He is a big name in the fashion world, but how about his own brand? What kind of quality we should expect from leather goods carrying this iconic name? I'm not familiar with many designers or fashion figures, but even I heard Karl Lagerfeld name many times before. I received this LBI submission a few months ago and I was intrigued to see his name on a leather product. Immediately, I thought the quality must be really good. But then I got puzzled by the mere $80 purchase price reported by my audience. Before I cut up this bag though, I looked up the legendary fashion icon Karl Lagerfeld. Indeed, this man was special. He was born in Germany in 1933 and strangely he lied about his birth year almost all his life, trying to show himself younger. According to Wikipedia, his proven birth year was 1933. Karl, on the other hand, claimed as 1938 and sometimes 1935. His career in fashion happened somewhat accidentally, as he originally wanted to become an illustrator, but by chance he entered and won the 1954 International Woolmark Prize at just 21 years old. The following 65 years, the fashion was the core of his work. He was a multidisciplinary creative. He was a designer, a photographer, and avid reader. It seemed like he had an endless drive for creativity and curiosity. During his career, he worked for many top fashion houses like Chloe and Fendi, but his international fame came with his time at Chanel. After Coco Chanel passed away in 1971, the fashion house lost momentum and relevance. Then Karl arrived in 1983 as the creative director, and he was able to revive the near-dead brand to the top of the fashion world and set the foundation for what it is today. After leading a very impactful life in fashion, Karl died in 2019. There are much more interesting facts about this fashion icon, but I think this is enough background for us to carry on with the project in hand. Now, knowing this legend of fashion's affiliation with a brand like Chanel, I expect nothing but quality from a product that carries his name. It's almost like if Steve Jobs created a brand with his own name, we all would expect the quality close or better than Apple. His name is that big in the world of fashion. But upon receiving this item and laying my hands on it, I am very disappointed. This looks and feels like a very low quality material. And it definitely feels like an $80 purse you would get from almost anywhere. With this puzzled mind, I immediately checked who owned the brand. And I found out the brand was indeed founded by Karl himself. But recently, in 2022, it was completely acquired by a fashion group called G3. The same group owns the brands like DKNY, Calvin Klein, and Tommy Hilfiger. At this point, it started to make more sense to me as a business situation for a group trying to leverage Karl's name's associations to reach a mass audience. But the interesting part is that this bag was purchased in 2020, way before that acquisition. So it hints me that the quality was not at the core of this brand even before the acquisition, and that's a bit puzzling. Anyways, before further speculation, let's open up this baby and see how bad the situation is. As we open up this bag, we found this label showing it's 100% man-made material. It contradicts with what the person who sent this bag in said. She said it was described as leather when she was buying it. But perhaps it's a mismemory or a misunderstanding. I don't think they would claim this as leather since they already have a tag on the bag. And this explains how bad this material feels. It's so plastic and it already started cracking in many places. We applied acetone and removed the plastic layer on top and exposed the fabric bottom. That's basically what faux leather and PU leather is, if you weren't aware of before. Also, I see that the craftsmanship is very poor. The stitching is quite terrible. The edge finishes are already peeled off. Most of the paint is gone. A lot of strings is coming up everywhere from the bag. Given it's a used bag, it's just very poorly done. Hardware is at the very low end of the quality spectrum as well. I see all the coating of the hardware is already coming off, exposing the material underneath. As we confirmed this is not even leather, I'm not gonna go out and lay it up and try to make a cost estimate for this product. In my opinion, I think you can get this in wholesale from China from $10, maximum $15 a piece. So it's not going to be anything higher than that, maybe even cheaper, because every aspect of the product is in the lowest quality possible. To be honest, the price tag of $80 is not a big rip-off here. It's just a sustainable business markup for an item that might cost them $15 to make in China. It's just confusing for the customers who are familiar with Karl's name and expecting a good quality product. It's more like Steve Jobs deciding to sell Alibaba Electronics under his personal brand. As long as they're not overcharging you, I think it's fair. All in all, my first experience with their leather-looking product is a big disappointment. So the moral of the story here is that you shouldn't assume a quality product just because Karl's association with Chanel brand. They are absolutely from two different universes. I hope you found this video helpful or at least entertaining. As always, until next time, stay leather-tained.